Enter the world of biblical humanities, where an enriching symphony for the mind, heart, and soul plays at the crossroads of the Bible and the humanities. Hello, I'm Jessie Lee from Hubal Center, South Korea. Today we're diving into a crucial topic: the impact of the coronavirus on kids, especially those who were already facing tough times in the US, back in 2018. A whopping 21.2% of American children were living in poverty. That's according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development (OECD), which says families with an income at or below 50% of the median household income are considered poor. Just to put things in perspective, this is double the rate in France and triple the rate in Poland. Shocking, right? It means that 13 million kids, that's 1/6 of all children, are dealing with poverty right here in the US. Now, these kids are spread across the country from rural areas like Cleveland, South Dakota, and the Appalachians, to big cities like the Bronx and New York and the outskirts of San Francisco. And why? Well, it boils down to a political system that hasn't quite kept its promises, leaving many families without the support they need. But it gets tougher for these kids. Unlike older folks who often get more attention from politicians, these kids don't have a vote or lobbyists looking out for them. And guess what? They end up being held accountable for their situation when they hit 18. Studies show that kids growing up in concentrated poverty areas face real challenges later in life. Less education, lower incomes, poorer health, and even engaging in criminal behavior. It's a tough cycle. So, what can we do? We need to rethink how we support families, especially those with kids. Imagine this: making sure every kid gets a free lunch at school to keep them healthy and ready to learn. Surprisingly, the US only recently adopted universal free lunch policies. And some places even had this embarrassing thing called lunch shaming. Also, we've got to mix things up in schools. Having kids from different backgrounds in the same schools is key. Otherwise, it can affect their health, job opportunities, and overall happiness when they grow up. Now, here's a simple yet powerful idea: cash transfers. Some might think it's unrealistic, but hear this: in California, giving $2.8 billion annually could make a huge dent in child poverty. And get this, it's just a quarter of what the state spends on prisons. Other countries, like Canada, have been doing this for ages, and guess what? It works. Now, let's peek at South Korea. Their child poverty statistics are significantly lower than those in the US. Why is that? South Korea has implemented innovative initiatives, such as the introduction of free school lunches. Although this program commenced in 2007 in specific locations, it has garnered impressive adoption, with 97% of primary and secondary schools implementing it as of 2020. However, it's important to note that the Child Allowances program had a delayed introduction until September 2018. And it came with limited coverage and specific conditions. Initially, the program only covered children under the age of 6. Subsequently, in September 2019, it was expanded to include children under the age of 7, offering a monthly allowance of 100,000 won, equivalent to $84. Reflecting on the issue of global child poverty, the South Korean context adds valuable depth to the ongoing discussion. Why are we talking about all this? Well, it ties into a book we're exploring, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. He went through a tough childhood himself, working in a shoe polish factory at just 10 years old. Yet, he became a legendary writer, shining a light on the struggles of the poor during the Industrial Revolution, and criticizing the contradictions of capitalist society. His stories still resonate today because he found a way to make people smile even in the darkest times. Dickens serves as a poignant reminder that even in the face of dire poverty, maintaining cheerfulness and striving for justice can create lasting impact. Let's take a look at the plot summary of Great Expectations. In Book 1, we delve into the intricate world of 7-year-old Pip, whose life takes unexpected turns amid challenges and encounters with compelling characters. Pip's familial struggles and complex dynamics, particularly with his sister and brother-in-law Joe Gargery, set the stage for a gripping narrative. A chance meeting with an escaped convict adds an element of danger, shaping Pip's journey. As Pip navigates the complexities of his humble life, he finds himself drawn into the enigmatic world of Miss Havisham, whose mysterious residence, Satis House, introduces him to the captivating but disdainful Estella. The stark contrast between Estella's beauty and her contemptuous demeanor leaves a lasting impact on Pip. Miss Havisham's eccentricities, symbolized by her decaying surroundings and peculiar habits, create a haunting atmosphere during Pip's weekly visits. As Pip grapples with his emotions and perceptions, he embarks on an apprenticeship at Joe's blacksmith shop, funded by Miss Havisham's generosity. Yet, Pip's optimism wanes, leading to a sense of disillusionment about his future. Tragedy strikes when Pip's sister suffers a traumatic assault, altering the course of his life. Confiding in his friend Biddy, Pip reveals his desire to become a gentleman for the sake of love, adding a layer of romance to the narrative. The story takes an unexpected twist when news of Pip's inheritance, shrouded in mystery, reaches him through the enigmatic Mr. Jaggers. Amidst the buzz in the village and newfound responsibilities, Pip makes a bold decision to journey to London, fueled by dreams of a gentlemanly life. The tension escalates as Pip faces the challenge of leaving his apprenticeship and encounters varying reactions from those around him, including Joe's concerns and Biddy's pragmatic views. Book 2 takes us on Pip's journey in London, where he encounters the intricacies of city life under the guidance of Mr. Jaggers. Pip is given a stark warning about his finances, with Jaggers overseeing his expenses. He secures lodgings with the help of Mr. Wemmick, who, surprisingly, introduces Pip to his childhood acquaintance, Herbert. As Pip immerses himself in London life, he learns about Miss Havisham's shocking past, linking her to Herbert's father, Matthew Pocket. Meanwhile, Wemmick, a man with a dual life, invites Pip to his unique home, showcasing his separation of public and private affairs. Pip also attends a gathering at Jaggers' house, where he notices peculiarities in the behavior of Jaggers' maid. The narrative takes a twist when Joe visits Pip, bearing a message from Estella, who wishes to meet him. Despite this, Pip's return to his hometown is marked by avoidance of Joe's house. At Miss Havisham's, Pip encounters a changed Estella, entangled with the crude Drumley. A subsequent letter from Estella leads to a meeting at the train station, where she reveals the jealousy and animosity of Miss Havisham's relatives for him. The story shifts to Pip's hometown after the death of his sister. Through Biddy, he learns that his sister asked Joe for forgiveness and mentioned Pip's name. Despite a tender moment with Joe, Biddy decides that Pip has changed into someone else and will never return to her hometown. Pip's life takes a wild turn as he dives into a world of luxury and excess, throwing money around like confetti. The inheritance that makes him the talk of the town also rubs off on his roommate Herbert, pushing them both to live way beyond their means. The result? A roller coaster of indulgence that messes with Herbert's peace of mind, leaving him wrestling with regret and anxiety. As time ticks on, Pip racks up a mountain of debt, all in the pursuit of turning his comfy life into a grand spectacle. When he hits the ripe age of 21 and swings by Miss Havisham's place, he's in for a surprise reunion with Estella. But hold onto your hats because things get spicy. Estella and Miss Havisham, usually on the same team, are suddenly at each other's throats. In the heat of the moment, Miss Havisham accuses Estella of having a heart as cold as ice. Estella, unfiltered as ever, lays it all on the table. Blaming her mom, Miss Havisham, for the way she turned out and admitting she never got the love Miss Havisham wanted for her. Then, she drops a bomb on Miss Havisham, asking why she wants the love she never gave her. This showdown uncovers a whole new layer of drama between mother and daughter, giving Pip a ringside seat to some serious family fireworks. The charged conversation makes us ponder love, family influence, and the lasting scars of the past. On Pip's 23rd birthday, a visitor arrives during a stormy night. Abel Magwitch, the escaped convict from Pip's past. Magwitch reveals himself as Pip's benefactor, having accumulated wealth while serving a life sentence in Australia. He seeks Pip's companionship and redemption for having made him a gentleman. However, his revelation of being a fugitive puts their lives in jeopardy. The climax intensifies when Magwitch discloses that he is Pip's second father, and his impending capture will lead to execution. Pip grapples with the shattered illusions of his benefactor and confronts the consequences of abandoning his humble roots. The revelation transforms Pip's perception of his inheritance, his relationship with Estella, and the sacrifices made by those who shaped his life. Book 3 delves into the complexities of Magwitch's past and his tumultuous present. Magwitch, aware of his impending fate, discloses his desire for Pip to spend his wealth as a gentleman. Despite Pip's initial shock, Magwitch emphasizes that the money is Pip's, acknowledging the grave risks he faces. Herbert advises Pip to learn more about Magwitch's life story. Through Herbert's revelations, Pip uncovers Mr. Compason's vile actions against Magwitch, leading to his imprisonment and a lifetime of exile. The narrative unveils Mr. Compason's connection to Miss Havisham and Arthur, her younger brother. Pip realizes the dire consequences awaiting Magwitch, prompting his determination to meet Miss Havisham and Estella before Magwitch's potential capture. In a dramatic turn, Pip confronts Miss Havisham, revealing the truth about his benefactor and seeking her assistance. Despite Pip's pleas, Estella decides to marry the unsuitable Drumley, expressing her weariness with her current life. Back in London, Pip receives a warning about potential threats, prompting him to hide Magwitch with Herbert and his fiancée Clara. Miss Havisham, stirred by Pip's appeal, confesses her mistakes and seeks forgiveness. Pip's compassionate response marks a significant moment of redemption for both characters. However, an unexpected turn of events puts Miss Havisham's life at risk, emphasizing the consequences of her actions. As Pip learns more about Magwitch's personal connection to him, the narrative unveils the tragic loss of Magwitch's daughter, paralleling Pip's life. The revelation that Jaggers orchestrated the adoption of Magwitch's daughter by Miss Havisham adds another layer to the intricate web of relationships. Pip and Herbert devise a plan to move Magwitch to safety, but complications arise when Mr. Compasson accuses Magwitch, leading to his arrest. Despite a violent confrontation, Magwitch's determination to secure Pip's future remains unwavering. Pip, loyal to the end, stays with Magwitch, witnessing his final moments and discovering the truth about Estella's survival. Magwitch's death leaves Pip in a state of despair, burdened by debts and pursued by creditors. Joe's intervention provides a lifeline, settling Pip's debts and nursing him back to health. Miss Havisham's legacy includes a bequest to Herbert's father, Matthew Pocket, because Pip told her what a good person Matthew was. The narrative progresses with Joe and Biddy's marriage, Pip's overseas journey to work with Herbert, and his eventual return to England after 11 years. The reunion with Estella at Miss Havisham's house marks a poignant moment, revealing Estella's transformed self. Their mutual forgiveness and acknowledgement of the value of lost opportunities bring a sense of closure to their tumultuous relationship. Thank you for delving into the plot summary of Great Expectations together. Until next time, stay curious.